Welcome to Adventure Dad. Today is going to be part 2 of the new trailer build, just kind of a tear down and layout video. We're doing that today because I'm supposed to be playing with my new CNC machine, but I've been having a ton of problems. So here I ordered an Avid Pro 48 by 96 CNC table. Ordered that right around Labor Day of 21. It came in, I assembled it. I'm gonna have a whole assembly and startup video. Pretty cool table. Possibilities here are really endless of what we can do. You know, really what I need to do is just keep practicing, but it's been a long week. Tired of playing with things and I wanna get something done. So today we're gonna take apart the trailer and lay it out. Follow along here. Here we are inside the new 7x12 Easy Hauler trailer. All these trailers come factory equipped with some sort of wall covering. Usually it's a requirement from the factory for structural bracing in transit or whatever. Luckily, these ones are screwed in. The nicer trailers seem to be screwed in. Some of the cheaper trailers, they use a hot nail gun. Whatever you do, don't buy a trailer with a hot nail gun interior unless you want to leave the existing walls in place, because they're going to be a nightmare to tear out. So one of the things you're looking for in these trailers is screwed in walls. So I'm going to take all the aluminum out, all the walls out, and lay out the parts that we have, just kind of so I can start putting together windows, putting in some ceiling fans. Essentially, when I do one of these trailers, I start at the top and I work my way down. So I'm going to make my top cuts, I'm going to mount my solar panels, I'm going to make my cuts for my fans. By working my way down, that means I'm going to mount my awning and I'm going to cut my windows. After the windows are in and the fans are in, I'm going to insulate the walls. I might hold off insulating the ceiling until I get my wires run, but right now I'll insulate all my walls, and then I'll come to my floor. In this trailer, again, I decided to insulate up, and that's for a couple of reasons. Number one, there's a 1.5 inch gap at the man door there, that if I insulated down, it'd be real hard to get to. Number two is by insulating up, I'm able to put our bike rack, cut a hole in the floor in the insulation, and that way I can put my bike rack in, and it really indexes the bike rack inside the trailer. So what I'm going to do is do an inch of insulation on top of the factory deck, and then I'm going to do an inch of pink board. It's Foamular 150 or 250. 250 is higher density, so if I can get that, I will, because it has less squish to it. And then I'm going to put maybe 3/8 floor, and then I'm going to put a subfloor and flooring. One thing I'm trying with these walls is I'm going to take them all off and mark them, and I'm actually going to try to reuse them. One thing about this trailer is it has the electronics mounted on the inside, kind of nice. But that also means we have a little bulkhead fitting here. So what I'm going to do is take a picture with my cell phone, make sure I get all the colors I need. As with all trailer wiring, you can see cool little stuff like this is the brown tab right here. It has the green wire going to it. This is the green tab. It has the brown wire going to it. This is the yellow tab, or the red tab. It has the yellow wire going to it. And this is the black tab, and it has the pink wire going to it. So typical trailer stuff, not a big deal. I have a picture. I know the lights work right now. I am not going to touch this system. I'm not going to tap into it at all, except for vehicle charging. I'll have to tap into a couple of these. Also, it's nice to look at your wire, and you can see they squish this one real well trying to put it in there, so we can kind of clean all that up when we put it back. I'm just going to get these wires undone, and then we're going to push them through the bulkhead, take this down, and that way we can keep disassembling. These are a pain in the tookie. One thing I want to show you is there are a ton of different fastener types on these trailers. I think my last trailer had 5 different types of either Phillips head, square head, or some form of Torx. I really struggled trying to find the exact right Torx for the various ones, but I have found, this is a number 2 square head. I have found these number 2 square heads work really well in a variety of Torx fittings. I'm taking off this trim, and I found a little rivet. Way to get rid of rivets is you just drill them out. So this is all screwed in except for this one rivet. Probably not the exact right size, but this is an old screwdriver, or pardon me, an old drill bit that I use for rivets. So I'm lazy, I'll take them off. And then once I get it separated, this one might still have part of the rivet up there, but I can just hit it with my grinder and whack it off. Whack it. My buddy, whack it? Sorry, I'm telling me boy fan. Another quick tip, kind of an old car guy tip. It works with bolts and pan head screws. So if you get a flat head screw, sometimes it won't work. This is a self-tapper. It was stripped. Nothing I had would fit in it. I tried drilling it out, but I would have been here for the next week and I couldn't reuse that hole. So I decided to, you take your grinder, get your narrowest bit. Don't get fancy. You just want one groove. And I just cut a groove along there, and then I can get my flathead screwdriver in there and pull it out. I'm gonna throw this one in the trash. The actual disassembly of the trailer goes really quickly. Here I am marking the back of every board and every piece of aluminum trim so I know exactly where they go when we go to reinstall everything. Okay, here we are. Trailer's all cleaned up. We're ready to lay out where we're going to put some stuff so we can get going on installing our ceiling fans and our solar. Overall, I'm still really impressed with the quality of this trailer. The wiring's a little cheap, but what do you expect? This is their value line. And when I say cheap, I just mean it's not really good quality stuff. It's very, very standard pieces. All right, but as I look around, there's no gaps here on these walls. On my other trailer, there was a gap where you could see light coming up all the way around the trailer. In fact, I foamed a lot of it. In this trailer, the only place I see a gap is right up here at the very, very, very front on the bottom. There's a little bit of daylight poking through there. After my last trailer, I realized it's best to buy stuff in groups, and for me, it's stuff I really want to work on. So the stuff that I haven't quite figured out, the component groups that I haven't figured out, I bought now so I can get working on them, figure them out, but also the large items, solar, anything I want to install first. Let's go down to the basement. I currently have our basement just covered up in stuff. You'll see. All right, here we are, down in the basement. Sorry about the lighting, sound, whatever. This is our little rec room, workout room, as you can see, and currently it's covered up in trailer parts. Number one thing I want to say is if you're planning on a trailer and you're going to build your own seating or dinettes or whatever, order your pads first. I couldn't find anybody within 200 miles of us to make me pads after I'd already built my cabinetry on my last trailer. So on this trailer, I ordered these. These are classic accessories, 18-inch wide, 3 inches deep. Same thing I used on my last trailer, just a little bit longer. Anyway, so order your pads first. Design your boxes around your pads. Get that out of the way. Okay, the next thing is, oh, this is a different toilet I'm trying. We'll get that out of the way. These are our Max Air vent fans. I'm going to do a whole separate video on these. We'll get started over here. Here are my windows. Now on this one, I'm only going to do 2 windows. Once again, I tried different manufacturers, see which one I like. This one here, I'm not going to take out. I'm really excited. I leave the trim rings out. They might get damaged, but this way I can measure them, hold them up, see where I like them. We're going to take these upstairs. This is the kitchen window. Super excited. This is also an exit window. These were sold out when we built our other trailer. So I have that. And then we have this. And then here's our Vintage Technologies. I believe this is a 12 by 40. Say hello to the mystery machine. This is from Halloween 2017, I think. Here's all my plumbing fittings. I ordered a ton of different plumbing fittings. I have more elsewhere. My last trailer is such a mix, I didn't want to do that again. Our sink, I'm designing a water cabinet. This is kind of a little splurge, but this is our gray water tank. Usually I just use a cheap water bottle, but this one has a mounting foot. This is a motorcycle kind of type fuel or UTV type fuel tank, but it has a mounting foot. I'm excited. I'm kind of a dork. I get excited about weird stuff. Here we have our sink. One of the things about RV sinks, specific sinks are pretty small. So this time I switched it up. I'm actually going to do a top mount sink. I'm pretty excited about that because a bottom mount is such a pain in the butt and a tight space where you want to put these things. So top mount, nice and deep sink, a bigger sink this time. I have my water tank. This time I'm going to do one smaller water tank. We're working on that. You'll follow along. I also ordered all my drawer slides. These are from AccuRide. I've never heard of AccuRide. I've had great customer support. But these are the drawer slides that I ordered. I have 3 different types here. These are my heavy duty ones. The reason I like AccuRide is they have all their drawer slides in CAD files. So I can just import them into Fusion 360. And that way, hopefully I can reference these holes, the mounting holes, and just have my CNC drill them. gonna be super cool. And then I have my full solar system also. So if we went back to my other office, we would have, I have my grape solar panels back there. Oh, here, this is cool. So I already called AM Solar and ordered my full kit. And last time I used two batteries, two Life Blue batteries to get to 200 amp hours. And here we are, one 200 amp hour battery, a big one. Saves me a little bit of weight, saves me a little bit of money. And this one is low temperature, which is really, really cool because, you know, currently it's 28 degrees outside, I think. You know, so I think it's cold here. All right, there we are. Back outside. I may have overdone it. Here's our L-track. So this is that flanged L-track I was telling you about. It's upside down right now. Basically, this goes against the floor, and then or the insulation, and I have subfloor and then a sheathing. So these recess into the wall. And then I have heavy duty ones down here. It's kind of a surprise on those. Here's all my L-track. I went a little L-track crazy. But we'll see how it turns out. Here we are all laid. I like to clap. So here we are. This is with all the measurements done. What we're gonna have is an elevator bed with the bed going, with a full-size bed going sideways, very similar to our other trailer. So that's gonna go up and down. This blue line here is 49.5 inches above our unfinished floor. So 48 inches above what's gonna be our finished floor. That's where the bed sets. Over here, we're gonna have a seat back and a seat bottom. Seat bottom's gonna have a lot of storage in it. That's essentially what it's for. On this side, I'm gonna have a fold out. So it's gonna be the table, seat back, and a seat bottom, as well as pads for the table. So we're gonna have a sleeping way, you know, a sleeping area right down here. Once I have those in, then I wanted to place my ceiling fans. So these blocks up here are my ceiling fans. I have two Max Air fans. I would prefer for airflow for this fan to be way up back here and this one to be way in the front. However, with the bed up, we found the fan doesn't really work too much. We want it to be able to work all the time. So essentially, when the bed is up, this fan's about split. I'll still be able to reach the controls. It'll still give us some airflow, and it's close enough to the bed to help. If it pulls air from this window on this side, I'll show you. The other fan is way up here on the front. One of the other things about positioning the fans is your solar panel. I am going to be running two 200-watt Grape solar panels. So 400 watts on the roof. Cool thing about Grape is once you get into the package, this is the nice protection sheet on top of the solar panel. It's the same size as the solar panel. Now, if you buy it from AM Solar, their feet do stick out a little bit, so the actual measurement will be a little bit bigger. I played with these in the back of the trailer, played with them at the front, but it really does impact where our fans go. I might actually lay these out in an L pattern because we're also dealing with some battery placement issues. But that's the good thing about this initial tape layup. So when I'm placing the solar panels, one of the considerations I have is I don't want them too close to the front of the trailer. They don't stick up very tall, but I don't want them catching branches. Likewise, I don't want them too close to the rear of the trailer. And then I also want them offset a little bit. Probably should have them, maybe the solar panels on this side, but the fans, just for clearance on canopy roads, but the fans actually stick up a little bit higher. So I put the fans where we're probably gonna have the most tree clearance, and the solar panels go here. I just wanna inset them a little bit so if a branch drags, it doesn't, along the top part of the trailer, it doesn't hook the solar panel. So this is a pretty cool tool. You get your solar panels first. I mean, you can always cut something out, but this is real nice just to be able to set it on the roof and see where things go. All right, let's come inside. Here's that front window. This is an exit awning window, which I think is pretty cool. I placed this window based on some design criteria I had. I brought my daughter out to help me with layout, and the first thing she said is, you need to move that window. So we actually moved it down the trailer towards the rear and a little bit higher on the wall, so it's nice to look out of. So you can see where the cabinets are. I built this line up for the floor that's going to come up, but also for a 3/4 inch countertop. On the left side, I'm trying to design an all-in-one water tank cabinet. So it's going to have an 18-gallon tank, and then if you want a larger tank, we could put a separate tank in one of the seat areas back here and get as many gallons you want. But I want a self-contained unit where everything goes in one box. That's gonna go right there. And then next to the water closet, we have a 36-inch camp kitchen. I'm still playing with the design, but this shows me how much room I have. The important one here was the refrigerator. I want the refrigerator at the front of the trailer. It's nice because you can reach it from the door. I cut out This is a little bit bigger than the cabinet I want. I'm really just testing right here. The other thing I wanted to see is if my refrigerator's in, would I have room for my batteries? In our other trailer, I put the batteries right at the front. In this one, I can't, because the door is positioned closer to the front of the trailer. If the door was offset a little bit, I could move everything back and have plenty of room for my electrical. So we're gonna have to play with that a little bit. And there is the other window. And this one I based off the floor, so it's 59.5 inches from the unfinished floor. If you look at it this way, that measurement roughly gives us enough room so when our bed is up, we'll be able to see the whole window. And when our bed is down, which is sitting right here, the window will be about that much above the bed itself. Seems like a good compromise. The other thing is when we're mounting these windows, I'll show you how we do it, but I want to space the edge away from one of these wall studs. So what we're going to try to do is put the window somewhere between these two wall studs, and then we're going to build a mounting plate that ties all of this together. Part of this is for weight distribution. Hey dude, how you doing? Okay. Okay, so on our other trailer, I have the battery in the front. I'm really not concerned, but I want to be aware of weight distribution. I want to get my water as close to the axle as I can, down low. I want to center my bikes and bike rack over the axle if I can. The other thing I want to do is move my battery behind the rear wheel here, or behind the wheel. I don't think I have enough room for a nice spot to mount the battery at the moment at the front of the trailer. And I also want to keep weight off the very nose, and I want to limit the weight on this left side. Thinking about moving the battery back here. Since we are building from the top down, the placement of the solar panels is really critical. That is also going to dictate the placement of our solar inlet where our power comes in. AM Solar makes a really nice box for that, but I need to figure out where it's going to go and how we're going to feed that big wire down here. Okay, well thank you for following along. This is just the initial step. Hopefully we put together a nice build series for y'all. It might be a little bit of a delay because I'm trying to figure out that CNC table back there. Once we get that up and running and I can make it work reliably, then I'm really going to turn my attention to this trailer so that I can have the trailer ready when I CNC my cabinets, and I can show you how we're going to put all those in and kind of show you the design. Please follow along, like, subscribe, do all that. Also, if you're planning on doing one of these trailers, I'd recommend investing in a blue tape company. It is crazy how much blue tape I go through trying to do these various iterations, but for me it's the best way to see it spatially. And then I'm going to take this, what I'm going to do right now, well, right now I'm going inside and edit this video and send it to y'all, but the next thing I'm going to do is plug all these measurements into Fusion 360. So I already have a trailer shell built in Fusion 360 all the way down to my wall sheathing. I can come in here now, play with my designs and put them in and see where I want stuff. You can do it there or you can do it here. For me, I just like seeing and touching my toys. So, all right, thank you very much.